What's up, Ray?
What's up, Flint? Yogi Rich?
You know what I mean? Yeah, good morning, part 2. We had to get back into it. I know that we were, like, talking about this for a minute. It's always so exciting to, like, have the first conversation. It's exciting for me too because, like, in my mind, I'm always like, will you like it? Will the guests like it? Will they not? And, obviously, we just, like our conversation just flowed so well that it just felt so right to just continue on. But
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, shoot, Imma turn it over to you. Is there anything, like, that's been on your mind recently? I know you had a lot of change. First of all, like, the haircut, you got a whole different look now, you know? Especially from, like I have
Thank
a
you,
vision
thank
of
you.
you from, like, 5 years ago, and you look so much different, you know? And, so
Yeah,
see all the change, but yeah, what's up with you, man?
just moved a week ago. So I've been like adjusting and trying to get more settled in every day. Um, but yeah, it's been great dealing with that. A whole way further than where I was before, maybe like an hour or so. Um, just been adjusting to like it's taking me longer than I thought to adjust to the move, but
Mm.
I'm enjoying it. My Raiden was here, so he got to give me his opinion on it, and we got to hang out, and you know, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. Honestly, it's such a different neighborhood and environment than what I'm used to. That
Mm.
it's been healing, like healing my the childhood version of me.
I'm like, "Is that a
And
tree
Bree,
that I
both of
see through
us.
that window, bruh?" It's like, "Is that a tree that I
Yeah,
see?"
yeah, yeah.
Like
Yeah, yeah.
It's so funny.
So even me and Bree was talking about that, like, where we lived at in Newark, but honestly, any neighborhood like Newark, because she's from
Yeah.
the Bronx, I'm from Queens, um, you don't realize how much like your nervous system is affected by just, we come in the house, the sirens or like the unpredictability of things that could happen, even just noise wise. We noticed it the most with Seven. I think that's when I really peeped it. It was like we
Mm.
going inside the house and like a siren would go by, and they kind of drag it with the sirens, like for anything. They
Yeah,
do it
you
just so they don't got to stop at the light. Yeah. Um, she would jump, like her whole body, she would like,
That's
like react to it, like it startled her every time. Um, so seeing her kind of be able to relax into it more here and not be worried about a random thing happening or it's just quiet.
mm,
That feel good. Like that heal, I think something in both me and Bree of
mm,
being able to give her that. So, but not even really realizing it until you're out of it.
100%, and this
Like
comes
I
back
didn't
to
that's
us.
not something I was thinking of. Yeah, yeah. I was so used to it that I'm not really thinking about it. But once you're away from it, I think I craved it, the idea of like, oh, I want to get away from that. But until you're actually there and you're sitting with it, it's like you got to take some time to get used to.
Mm. Yeah, nah, 100%, and I'm in the reverse situation, as you know, I've been living in the city. It's my first time living here for, like, 18 months, and I told Safa like, this week, I was like, "I'm reaching my breaking point." I'm like, it's like because it's not even just the sirens, it's like the niggas on the motorcycles and the Hellcats
Yeah,
and
all of
just
it.
and
Yeah.
they be and that's when they race, 1 AM, 2 AM, 3 AM, like,
Hmm.
um and then, of course, like, no disrespect, but it's like a lot of folks, aren't mentally well, so, like, then you got folks that are just screaming and arguments all the time, and, like, man, I was like, "Safa, I don't think I've had, like, a real nourishing night of sleep according to my standards, like, how I grew up in Virginia, is,
Yeah, yeah.
like, I don't think I had a real nourishing night of sleep in, like, at least 8, 9 months." And I was like, I'm starting to feel like, I was just reflecting on this with her. I was like, "I'm starting to feel like this less, like, tension build up that was never there before that is just, like, because I never really understood, like, it just felt like city folk had, like, a different yeah, like, a different vibration, a different vibe, like, that was just, like, so, like, tense, and it's funny, I'm thinking about, like, music, right? Like, what's the role of music? Like, music
Hmm.
kinda sets the tone literally. but it also sorta, like, sets the mood and, like, when you have that peaceful groove where you can hear, like, the birds, bro, the birds waking up to the birds and, like, hearing all, like, that symphony and the and the leaves rustling, that's a whole different
Yeah,
soundtrack than what we're talking about, like, in the concrete jungle, you know?
yeah,
So,
yeah.
that's beautiful to see that
No,
reflected in 7, you
for
know?
sure. For sure. Raiden was here. Raiden was here,
Mhm.
and we was looking out the window, and like, in the city, you get a bunch of stray cats, rats, raccoons, possums, possibly like all
Yeah.
those type of animals. Over here, we get
Yeah, yeah,
rabbits, beavers,
yeah.
um, you know, chipmunks, stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Mm.
So, him looking, and there's the same rabbit that's been coming like every day, just chilling.
Yep.
And for Raiden, that was really exciting. He looks just like Peter Rabbit.
Mm.
um, so even that just kind of, even the type of animal, the bothersome animals that we would see that going through the garbage ain't even the same
Mhm.
like animals as over there. So,
Literally.
you know, um, yeah, so it's like, and that type of stuff has been, and not only just the outdoor, but the indoor, just having more space and trying to like find I'm a person that I gotta like clutter or not having everything organized. Like I can't even think clearly. So trying
Mhm.
to get the boxes as organized, or even if we don't know where we're gonna do it yet, but just it away somewhere has
Yeah.
been like the goal for me every day, which every step by step, just trying to like, organize it as best we can. I remember
Mm.
in Newark, our apartment, we was like, "Oh, it didn't get a lot of sunlight," and it was depressing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, and I remember in here, one of the things we were talking about is like it gets too much sunlight, and it's like, oh, it's making it hot. Like that's something I didn't even consider.
Yeah, it's so
I'm
funny.
like, it was 99 degrees. It was
Yeah. Yeah.
99 degrees a couple of days ago,
Yeah. Yeah, yeah,
and the
yeah.
sunroom here was like a sauna.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, "Damn, I didn't even anticipate that." I didn't even those are the things you don't know until you just know. And, like, we were from one side saying, "Oh, it's too dark," but the AC worked, like, great
Mm.
in there. Where
Mhm.
here, it's so sunny and hot that the AC don't even feel like it's on at times, like,
Look, that's why my mom couldn't have the
so
AC on, bro. My mom kept the AC on. She said this power bill is too damn expensive in the summer, and she was fighting with
yeah,
she had the AC on like 85 because we had those big like we had one room that had like windows that were unstoppable. It felt like it was like
yeah,
because and it's like, nah, that really is a thing, and it's I
yeah,
was
yeah,
plants, bro. Plants are the answer.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, besides blinds, obviously, and
mhm,
all that good stuff. But yeah, that's funny that you
we
think.
gotta get there. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I bring that up to say, like, these are little things that you kinda, like, adjust into or you're realizing once you're there, like, "Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
well, I gotta do that. I see the importance of that now," or,
Mm.
stuff like that, you know?
Windows
Yeah.
open, arid, like, it's gonna be a whole different vibe. I was gonna what do you how do you feel about the house yourself? Like or what was that moving process like? Like, I don't know, to me, you just up and move. I'm assuming your lease was up, something happened, like, why did you move and change environments?
My lease was ending, but I left maybe, like, a month before my lease was ending. In Jersey, say if I had a yearly lease, once the lease is over and you wanna stay, it just becomes a month-to-month lease.
Mm.
So it's like or pretty much everywhere in Jersey, it's not like you'd have to say, "I wanna go," or they'd have to say, "I want you to go," or it just continues.
Oh, it's just an automatic assumption,
So
the monthly rate.
yeah,
Mm,
yeah.
got you. Interesting.
So, yeah, at the beginning of the month, I told him, like, "I'm good, I'm gonna go," and then we found this place we found this place before that, but once I told him, it was pretty much like I already paid them the deposit and everything, and then, it was a pretty interesting process because at first last year we were looking and then lost my jobs. I had to recalibrate and I got another job and that's how we got here. But when we was looking last year, it was like, oh, we want to live further in Jersey. We want to get away from the city. And then we started looking again this year. We kinda wanted to be more in a city kinda area, like, not too far, but, like, not too far from where we were, kinda just want being able to walk to the store and still kinda want that easy access to things.
Mm-mm.
And then, we started looking, and the prices were more than where we were at then for not really not much different, you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Maybe you get a little bit more space or yeah, maybe the neighborhood is a little bit better as far as maybe it's not as loud or too much going on, but it ain't that much different for the price that they're asking for.
yeah,
So then as I started looking further, I'm like, man, the prices are better. It feels like you're just getting more for your money. Like you're getting more room. Got a yard for a couple $100 more than what we're paying now. It seems like a no brainer. And the only difference is I got to drive a little further to work. Like I think it's a trade off I'm willing to deal with. So
yeah,
then when we get here, honestly, it was between this and another apartment in the same town, and the other apartment was beautiful. It was like in a building, but it was like a real modern building. So they had I told you they had a podcast room.
yeah,
They
too.
had a yeah, like it was high ceilings. Like honestly, it was gorgeous. But it was more than here, maybe a couple hundred more than here. And then um, this one is a house, you know. I think it's a little bit bigger than that apartment, maybe like not too much bigger, but a little bit bigger.
Yeah,
But it came with the yard too. So I started talking to my mom and Bree's mom and was like, we got the classic trade-off situation where it's like this one is modern. Everything's everything. Literally, the building was built 8 months ago, so everything is brand new.
yeah, they got a podcast,
Um,
and that speaks for itself, you know?
yeah, yeah. Every single thing is brand new. But it costs more. Like I'm worried that I won't be able to sustain that and everything else that I got to handle.
Yeah,
And then here it was extremely affordable, but I'm still getting kind of the base of what I want. And my mom was like, well, my mom and Bree's friend was like thing about places like those other buildings is it starts off at this price, but they're gonna raise it. If it's difficult now, then it's gonna be even more difficult later.
mhm,
I mean, sometimes they don't tell you or show you or tell you the full story when you're first coming in. Like, there'll be more to it when you actually get in there. So I chose this one because I'm like, it got the space, but it's kind of it had good bones, like it has something like this is one of them places where you can really turn it into something. Like you can put some elbow grease into it and it could be better than the first one. So I
yeah,
think I
yeah,
like that idea too. Bree liked that idea.
mhm,
It hit off all the boxes in that regard. And like once we put our stuff in it, it was like, oh yeah, I see the vision now. Like we can actually put a lot into this. And we kind of had a theme on what we wanted to do before we got in here. And we going for like 70s groovy. And I think we had a lot of wood in here. So it definitely I'm excited and seeing how it comes together, but I like it, like seeing my response really is based on the kids' response, honestly. And how
yeah,
comfortable my work situation is. Like, um, I'm loving it. I still got a lot to do. I mean, we literally it's only been a week, so it's still a lot of boxes. It's still a lot of like organization. So we got stuff all over the place.
for sure.
But I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. And we
Yo,
cut the
that
grass yesterday.
Hey!
Yeah. Hired this lawn company.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
Bro, I hired a lawn company and they cut everything and then didn't blow it away.
I mean,
They just left it there.
that's why I had to start my lawn care company. I was trying to tell these fools, I'm like, they just don't do it
Is that
right.
normal?
No, it's not normal, cuz I mean, but that's the thing, you gotta look at it like this. It's sort of like, some people are just in a hurry. It's like you got the hustler mindset where they're just trying to get. Now, you're meant to blow it. Like if they cut your grass and they don't bag it, they should at least blow it on your grass. At least not like so it's like everywhere. But then like the clippings will I mean, you're gonna need a grass cut again in like 2 weeks. So the clippings are gonna kind
Yeah.
of in that case. But nah, sometimes they're just kind of, real lackadaisical about it. Just gotta hurry up and go. And just depending on the size of the company. So, it's funny, you still gotta kinda it's funny, like, I'm thinking about my mom, like, you're sort of in my mom's situation, just, like, a little bit, thinking about when she moved to, like, Alexandria and moved down to, like, Virginia area, and, you know, how she so sorta, like, maintained her New York attitude to some of, like, the contractors and stuff, just to make sure that's where she really, like, developed her ability, like, "Alright, let me make sure y'all are doing this right, alright." Now that's if you ever see her, like, get work now, she's like, Don't leave the grass, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that," because she had so many experiences, like, you're probably gonna have to experience to, like, really sharpen that, and,
Yeah.
it's, but that's cool, man, that's exciting. I think, the yard is a whole 'nother I feel like well, 2 things. The thing about them and not to pick on the high rise, like the really beautiful new apartment complexes, like, you know, we got ours out here or whatever.
Mhm.
But it's like you got 3 days to pay rent. The 4th day, like, you know, they're not as lenient really ever because they feel so entitled that like we're gonna be able to get someone else in here because this is new, this is flashy. Like they if there's any issue with them financially, let's just get them out of here and let's just keep it moving. You know, there's a little bit not
Yeah.
less heart, but it makes sense in from that point of view. And I was thinking the second thing about like, yeah, having a yard, the yard aspect, I feel like makes things more of a community. Like it's so interesting to me, like my homies that live in apartments, they're so isolated. Like they might just see the people like in the hallways, but they're just kind of like going their own way. But when you have a yard and like let's say you're sitting out there chilling in the yard or whatever, that sort of I mean, it's very, like, symbolic, but you're literally putting yourself out there, you know? And
Yeah.
that's really what I feel like makes, you know, a house a home is, like, if you feel like, you know, you're feeling out the actual community, so I'll be interesting to see, like, how your experience is, like, you know, trying to grill or do whatever, like, out in the yard and, like, how that brings joy to you, because it's, like, just dad stuff, it's, like, that's where we it's not really talked about in that way, but it's, like, yeah, that's a good way to kinda maintain your health is, like, make sure you're out there in the yard, like, you know, either taking care of the yard or, like, grilling, being welcoming, you know? And I don't know, that's kinda what I seen, and it's like sometimes, like, the dads that be real recluse, you'd be like, "Alright, let's not go around Mr. Steve's house." Like, Mr. Steve's never out there, like, we don't trust him, you know? And so,
Yeah.
nah, another thing that's exciting to me is, like, I know how much you used to like to visit Virginia back in the day, and, just for this sort of
No,
happening
I
to
didn't actually.
you didn't like
No,
visiting?
I didn't. No, 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 I didn't actually. Like,
Alright, tell me,
I
tell
used
me,
to feel
tell me,
like
tell me. Well,
I
no, you
liked
maybe didn't like
Virginia as
visiting
when I got
Virginia.
older.
Yeah, yeah, when you got older, I
Uh,
should refer we can talk
when I
about it
got
when
older.
you can tell me when you can tell me about when
When
you
I
were
was a kid,
I thought
I
as you got older, you were like, you appreciated just, like, a little bit of it. So it's cool to see how that was, like,
yeah.
slowly working on you to where now you're living in this space, and obviously with your
Mhm.
woman, your children, like, now you're probably in a space where you can truly admire some of these things that maybe you wouldn't have admired even, like, when Raiden was an infant, you know? So
No, for sure, for sure. Yeah. I mean, it is a piece to like again, I had to cut it because it was crazy out there, like a lot of weeds. There was this tall,
Mm.
so I was like,
It's like
let's try to manage it as best. But then they kind of blew mine because I'm like, we did all this and we was excited for it to happen, then they don't blow it away. It kind of feels like getting a haircut, but they leave all of it
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
there.
yeah.
Like, you know how they blow it out?
It's like, "Bro, why didn't you
Like,
tell me you were
I
about to
mean,
do this?"
yeah, like, I think you did a good job, but I can't tell. Like, I can't even see it. Um, so that kinda blew mine, but
Nah, they shoulda raked it and
no.
bagged it if it was that long. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but I'll probably go with someone else next time. And honestly, eventually, Imma get my own stuff. I wanted to just get it manageable so the kids can at least go out there.
Mm.
Um, but Bree's excited too. She's trying to plant a bunch of different things and
Hey.
clipping. She has her scissors. She was like going around, like, you know what? That would look good. We should plant that. Just
Mhm.
cutting
It's
off
like
stuff in
propagate.
places. Yeah, it's hilarious.
That's
But
so
again,
funny.
that's like something that she enjoys into and like healing a part of herself.
Mhm.
Being able to do that. So for me, no, it's when I was younger, I was very, I was more ingratiated in like city culture because that was just a natural. Even where we lived at when I was coming to visit, It was the complete opposite. Like you step outside, you're right into it. Like you're not used to it being so quiet. You're not used to it being not being able to leave as you please. You know what I mean? Like kind of I mean, I'm a teenager or a young teenager, 12, 13. I can't just go. I need somebody has to drive me here or I have to go, I have
Mm.
to wait on somebody here. Um,
You gotta ride a
and I
bike.
wasn't
You
used to
gotta
that.
ride a
Didn't
bike,
like that.
man.
Yeah. But even riding a bike, like, there was nowhere
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
like quick to go to, like I
100%,
wasn't used to that. But as
100%.
I got older, yeah, I started to enjoy it a little bit more. The peace and quiet after like dealing with, stuff all day. I think there's that experience you have in New York when you're a kid and you kind of like, especially in Queens, in Brooklyn and Bronx a little different because they can it's easier access. Like there's more trains in those boroughs. Brooklyn, Queens, Brooklyn, Bronx, Manhattan. Trains are on every other block. So you can get
Mm,
on a train and just go to the city or go to another borough, go downtown in Brooklyn or wherever you
mhm,
want to go. In Queens, especially my part of Queens, there's only buses. They're like getting to another borough isn't like quick. Like you're pretty much where you are is your whole world. So if I'm from Hollis, Queens, you only know Hollis, Queens is the globe in your mind. Like mentally, people there that don't leave, that never left. They don't
That's
even go to the city.
that's crazy.
They don't even go to Manhattan. So when I was coming to Virginia, that was my mindset of like, I don't even know like this is the only thing I know, and this is the way you live. This is how it goes to
Mm,
where when I went there, it was like such a culture shock that it was like, I wasn't used to that. Just sitting in the house all day.
yeah,
When I
100%.
got older and I moved, I went to school in Manhattan.
Yeah.
Like I just went through so many experiences that kind of broke that
Mm,
mentality. I chose to go to high school in Manhattan. So I got to see different people from all over and learning about how they grew up and what their experience was. And like, oh, you're from Brooklyn, and yeah, I went over here and over here. I'm like, bro, I only went like on like a 5 to 6 block radius. Like that was my entire, you know.
wow.
You had these couple avenues and these couple blocks, and that was pretty much it.
Mm,
Um, so when I went there and I learned more about other people and how they moved, even in just in New York, let alone moving to Jersey, um, yeah, it kind of opened my mind up to like different experiences, different worlds you can grow up in. You know,
mm.
it's crazy.
Yeah, it's funny.
And
It's
now
like
Raiden lives in Long Island.
he lives in Long Island?
Yeah. So he always comes with, oh, you live in like the city, Dad. Like he's always say that. Like, because he's so used to he lives in like a suburban town, very like quiet and like you just said, like your neighbors are a big part of that, goes to a good school and a good neighborhood. So when he used to come over there, it was like he liked it because he liked being to switch up his experience. Like, oh, it's a lot of people here. It's a lot going on. He see the icy, the hood. You got the icy lady over there, like stuff that he just wouldn't have there. You'd be able to just walk to the store with me. Like that was stuff we would do, just walk to the store together. Couldn't really do that over there, or it'd be a much longer walk.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, so he would even remind me like hearing him like, as I thinking of me as a young kid, like his experience is so different already. Of like knowing, oh, I love my neighbor's dog, or I'm gonna miss my neighbors, or
Yeah.
like his experience of living growing up is just completely different. So now when he comes here and being able to kind of maintain that in a different way, and just feeling like I can walk outside. I remember when I lived in Jersey City, it was a moment that was like, yeah, I gotta get my stuff together. Where we was walking to the park in Jersey City, and we was coming back from the park. It was a shooting that just happened. Like we had literally missed it by minutes. There was
Wow.
caution tape. It was like this store that the windows were like had cracked windows and everything. And I remember he was, I mean, what was he, 4, 5,
Mm,
4, and of course, he's like me. He asking a million questions. He want to know why everything. So, that used to always stick with me. Is I'm like, man, um, I don't wanna have to answer questions you're not ready to know, just yet. I wanna go outside and feel like I can't even bring you outside because
Yeah.
you're gonna run into stuff that you're just too young to see, you know? Like, now when we was young in New York and a woman's coming down the block, you put your blunt out, you ash your cigarette, you put it to the side, you step out the way, these kids with your daughter will just blow the smoke right out. Like, there's no sense of, like,
Respect.
courtesy or
Yeah.
yeah, it's a different thing. You see a little kid, it was unwritten rules that you would do, because you don't wanna subject nobody's children to, anything. So that's
Mm.
my son. So I couldn't even imagine walking down the block and it's my daughter. And those are the things that, even Bree would tell me she's going down the block or stroll with a stroller. These people won't move out the way. They'll stay there.
Yeah.
Like there's just little stuff like that to be like, I think we just outgrew this. You just gotta go,
Yeah.
So being able to give them both individually an experience where not only you won't experience that at the bare minimum, but you can go outside and I can go in the back of the house and not even thinking about it,
Yeah.
feeling completely safe in that. So even on that level, like giving them what I felt like I didn't have or didn't even know that was a problem when I was a kid because it was just normal.
Mm.
Um, no, that's a big accomplishment,
Absolutely.
So I've been really like sitting with it.
Yeah, yeah, I hope you are, and it's funny you're thinking about, like it's funny whenever you move or do something, it's like there's always this tension between sort of just sitting down and just taking a breather and being like, "Okay, we're here." It's almost like you're on this journey to get to this mountain or this hill or whatever, and just gotta take a second to sit down, enjoy the view, and be like, "Damn, this is a whole different place than" there's a whole different literally the opposite perspective from where I came from, and now you're able to help carry that on, especially for your daughter, and continue that, like, help, I guess,
Yeah.
you bring both halves for your son. So, yeah, that's pretty dope. I'm very proud of you, and it's so interesting to see because I remember when I was just thinking about this, I was like, in Virginia, when I was, like, 12, 13, 14, before we could drive, it was like, your world was as long as your legs could pedal. Like, that was it. It was like, as far as your bike could reach or however, like, far your friends, like, like, if you made friends in different neighborhoods, that was how you got to get around. So, to me, it was always fun to be like,
Yeah.
"Alright, let me, like, meet this kid," and then I'm like, even if I don't like this kid, I get to go over to this dude's house, and then now I know, like, a whole different world, like, that's Devon Green, this is Austin Ridge, this is that, like, and I'm just I it's so interesting, like, and then there was a whole 'nother world, which is, like, the woods, and I think we talked about this, like, that the woods
Yeah.
is what connected all the neighborhoods, so I'm just thinking, like, sort of in our life, it was sorta like when we were always supervised on the street, it was like, if you're on the bike or you're outside or, like, as soon as you come into someone else's house, you're always being watched, but it was the woods was sorta like our version of not really the subway, but just sort of like our way to get out, like, no supervision, not even really possible, like, and you're just sort of out there, and, like, if something happens to Irving, like, while we're climbing this tree, like, something happens to Irving, like, we're gonna have to carry him out of here, like, like,
Yeah.
there's no one that can help us here. And so it's just cool to see, like, how life gives all of us similar lessons, but, like, in its own
Hmm.
way, shape,
Different
and form.
ways.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I remember my
Yeah.
mom, when she moved to Virginia, she was kinda like, "Oh, I was trying to get you away from, quote, unquote, 'crime' or whatever," like, sort of what you're saying, and when I was, like, 16, 17, that was when we could drive, and um, that's when there was drinking and all this stuff and partying, and, like, she didn't even realize, like, in her words, like, white drinking culture, like, how deep it especially, like, in the South and all that kinda stuff, and I remember,
Yeah.
and then but what I did wanna say about that was, like, some of this dumb stuff that we would do or that kids would do that would just be harming, not, like, shooting or killing nobody, but it would be, like, they would play this game where I don't even know the name of the game, but the older kids told us this, they would race on back roads in Virginia, like the rolling hills and, like, the super windy roads, and and then they would turn off their lights at night and they would race. And it was I'm just like I'm sitting here, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, "Bro, this is like it's like, do you like your life?" You know what I mean? Like, stuff like this.
Right,
So,
right.
there would be
Looking for
contests
the thrill.
to see how long you could turn your lights off, and, like, almost play chicken in a way. And then just, like, dumb stuff like that. So it's like, either way, just like, boys will be boys. Like, there's gonna be just there's something in us no matter where we're at where or, like, another big thing that was around us was, like, house robberies. Like, one of my football teammates in 8th grade, when he was, like, a junior, out of nowhere, they just decided to start robbing houses and stuff, and it's like, "I know where you live, like, you live in, like, a house bigger than mine, like, what are you doing? Like, you got plenty of money,"
Yeah.
you know? So, to me, all it was just like, okay, like, us country folk, we can't pick on the city folk, and then vice versa. We still have to, like, just make sure that we're keeping like, no one is necessarily free, you know what I mean? So it's like, that's what I meant by the tension. It's like, you sit down, you take a breather, you smell the roses, but at the same time, it's like there's still more work to do. And the physical analogy is obviously moving in. Where like it took me like 4 months to really truly move in and make like this home like a child. So like I don't know, like not that you were gonna rush it anyways, but don't rush it, relax, like, let the things unfold as they unfold because, yeah, it's cluttering, but at the same time, if you organize things incorrectly, and then you gotta break all the shelves down and do it, like
Mhm.
and that's what I realized too. I'm like, "Alright, I wanna get this done," but then I'm like, "Oh, I didn't have that piece of wisdom yet to really put that piece in the right place." And then now, like, this whole system, if I would've done that, now it had to be redone, so, you know, I'm
Yeah.
real grateful, yeah, got there. So, yeah, I'm listening, man.
No, I wanted to piggyback. I wanted to stay there where you was talking about. I think it relates to even just decorating. But you was talking about that. You said they turned their lights off and raced,
Yeah. Like wild
and
racing.
like where's they're like wild race. Okay.
So and you've been to Virginia,
Um,
so it's like 95 doesn't even have lights. I'm talking about these are like
right.
tree
Yeah.
covered roads. So it's like even if the sun is in full moon, the only time you can really see is if the full moon in the pasture, like where farmland is. But it was also like
Yeah.
cheap because it's also like, all right, like, unless you want to die, like there are sharp turns.
Hmm.
This is not a drill. There are 90-degree sharp turns. And there'd be it's funny because like in New York, everything got hella signs or whatever. It's like there'd be one little yellow sign like caution. But yeah, they were crazy back
Yeah.
then. They were crazy.
Yeah. That made me think like when when I was younger and I would come right.
Mhm.
Um, and I was telling you like what I'm coming with, like what my experience is when I'm touching down in Virginia.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, you know, I was young. I saw stuff, kind of what I was telling my rating. Like I saw stuff that in the time, in that time, there was some stuff that I saw as normal. There was some stuff that I knew wasn't normal that just stuck with me. Like um, I remember my cousin. I think his name was. I was he was my brother side. I don't even remember his name, but I remember when I came outside. You know, he was coming from the store, and the cops came, pulled him over,
Mm.
and like like he is butt ass, like in the street, like they had hands in his asshole, like
That's crazy.
searching him, and I remember sitting there like, bro, this is crazy. Like
Yeah,
him just walking from the store, like just off the hip. They just pulled over, hey, and just completely undressed him like in the middle of the street.
Mm.
Or I remember I was in the back seat with my brother and cops pulled him over and they beat the shit out of him. Like his tooth is still chipped from that.
Your brother?
Like he actually, my brother Jay,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, ask him. He
Mm,
got beat the shit out of, like legitimately, like on top, 3, 4 cops on top of him,
mm,
beating him out, beating him down.
mm.
He actually won a case against them and got paid for that.
Wow.
Um, didn't do anything smart with the money, but he did get paid.
Hey, hey,
Um,
hey. So
but
funny. Yeah.
seeing that, seeing that, and not seeing all of it, but like seeing the whole them running after him and knocking him down and seeing them just like
Yeah.
just emotions,
Mhm.
bloody face and all this stuff. Like those are just little. I'm bringing those up because these are like moments that were like traumatic that I remember, and I got just a few, the good amount of things just like that. And, I was a kid who my brother and sister, people made fun of me for, like I read from young, three,
Yeah.
4 years old. I was always into reading, one thing me and my mom didn't see eye to eye on a lot of things, but she never played around. When I was interested in reading, she got me every book that I
Mm.
wanted. She gave me a ton of books as much as I wanted, like she never played with that. It was one thing that she would always be
Yeah.
with.
Yep.
And I always loved that about her. I was into basketball. I felt like she didn't really take
Yeah,
it as serious as I would have, I wanted it to. Um, but the point I'm making is that, I was a kid who I tried to do the right thing. I was surrounded by those type of things and gang violence and drug dealing, but never participated in any of it. I knew gangs wasn't for me. I thought selling drugs was a quick path to nowhere,
yeah,
and I think even following all those things and feeling like, I didn't smoke weed till I was a fully grown adult. Right.
yeah,
Everybody that smoked around me or smoked cigarettes, drank. I didn't drink or smoke until I was already 21, 22 plus.
yeah.
Followed all the quote unquote rules, right, of being a good kid.
Mm.
Never hurt anybody, you know. Um, and a couple years ago, when I was really struggling, like just where my mind has been at since I've gotten here,
Mm.
like when I was really struggling, I got arrested for stealing at Target for like, well, it might have been dish soap or something stupid, like a shower
Yeah.
curtain or something. It was like house stuff I was getting for the house.
Yeah,
And I remember uh, being in the back of the car, at the police car, and it was like a real emotional thing for me because I'm like, with everything I just named,
yeah.
feeling like it just feels like no matter what happens, as a black man, it's like you're destined to be behind in the police car.
Yeah.
Or when I was sitting in the cell and I'm like, because they ended up arresting me, bring me to the cell because I had a warrant for jumping the turnstile. Years, like maybe like 5 years before that.
Mm. Mm.
Um, but I was sitting on it and I was thinking in the cell, like, my brother's been in and out of jail, my dad's in jail, been in and out of jail, all my life, all the men in my family have experienced, this. Um,
Mm.
and it just had me sitting like with everything I've done and everything that I've avoided to still end up here somehow. It was really weighing on me because I'm like, a lot of the stuff I'm in here for it's no crime except being poor. And that
Yeah.
bothers you when you really sit with it. Like I'm getting arrested for jumping the train because I didn't have the money
Yeah.
to pay for the train at that time.
Yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah.
stealing home goods. Like I'm not stealing bullshit. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, I'm not
It might have
stealing
been
chicken.
$30 worth, $40
Yeah,
worth. Yeah. Like literally it was nothing. And it was like and I didn't even want to go to that store. I just went because we had absolutely whatever I got, we had absolutely nothing of it. We needed it. And
yeah,
I was like, you know what, if I get caught, do it. I'd rather get caught on something that I need. Like I feel like I didn't have a choice than me just doing it for the heck of it. And I remember that really stuck with me and I'm thinking now, like, yo, uh all of those type of experiences and leaving here and I'm turning 30 in a couple of weeks and thinking like, closing that chapter with everything we were saying, like, this experience I'm having, I'm getting away from those type of experiences, my kids getting away from those type of experiences, Bree, and us kind of healing like childhood wounds, so to speak. It's bittersweet. I love that and I'm proud of that, but it's bittersweet at the same time because it feels like all the people that really would know and resonate with the stuff I'm talking about, my story,
mm,
they're either too far or we're no longer in each other's lives for many reasons. Um, it feels like I'm finally getting to that place where I want to, but no one's really here to celebrate it with me, you know?
yeah, yeah,
No one that really knows. Kai's been here, been around, but he's leaving, going back to Texas, right? Like leaving tomorrow.
yeah.
And I was saying, like, I was telling Bree, I'm like, it's crazy. I would have loved for Kai to get it together. It would have been nice to see what that could have been like him getting his life together and him getting to that place here, and we could enjoy that together.
Mm.
Except, you know, him not really being able to figure it out here and going back to Texas, and you know, who knows next time I'll be able to see him. Um, friends that I had no longer friends, family. My mom don't even drive on the highway, so who knows when she's gonna be here. If I see her, it'd probably be me going there.
Yeah.
Brother and sister haven't come to Jersey damn near since I moved to Jersey 6 years ago, 7 years ago. So um it is bittersweet of like, you got what you wanted, but only you know your story, only you know what it took to get there.
Yeah.
You moved to Colorado. Yeah, I can't just go to Virginia real fast. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
gone. Um, so sitting with that sometime be like, it's trippy. It's trippy, I think the birthday got me a little sentimental too. Of just
Yeah,
like, well,
well,
you turn it this is the end of my 20s and
yeah.
seeing that like, you know, it's crazy.
It's the end of a cycle, it's like it literally is physically coming to an end. I mean, yeah, it's interesting how yeah, for, like, a long time, I didn't really see my mom because she was cruising, like, 9 months out of the year, you know what
Mhm.
I mean? Like, I might see her every now and then, and it would be, like, a little blip here and there, but I always, like, tell my friends too that are, like, from, like, 26. It's funny that they use that as a year that you're supposed to get off your parents' health insurance or whatever, but it's, like, in real life,
Mhm.
it's, like, they say, like, 25, your frontal lobe develops. So I like to think of that as, like, that's kinda like your actual birthday, like, you're 1 now, and then but it's, like, real one.
Mhm.
It's, like, so 26, that's when you're actually starting to, like, unfurl, kinda, reestablish those connections and honestly, like, kinda step out on your own, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, then you get hit with some tragedy at 27, 28, or whatever that kinda makes you, like, really be able to stand on your own, like, if you're reborn in sort of like that first initial, like, "Okay, like, this is really what I have to do. This is really, like, um, now that I don't have this protection," like, the jail cell is a good example of that to me where it's like, you're kinda cut off from your parents in a way, you're cut off from all of your support systems, and it's sort of just you here, and then you have to rely on this system that already exists to keep you going, and so, I think from, me as in black man and all of this, it's like and just I have to take software to work pretty soon, so I don't have too much more time, but I don't I
Mhm.
wanted to keep it like this so we can keep going and keep it real interesting. But, it's faith. Like, that's really the turning point, and I think in your story, I know in my story is like, when I was in the cell, in rural Alabama, probably my mom's nightmare, like, and then I got arrested for having basically $40, $50 worth of weed. But to them, that's like a mountain, so I'm sitting there in the cell and it's me, I'm the only black guy there. It's like in a rural white town and Safa, who's from Iraq. So it's like really only the worst scenario is like and she's speaking Arabic to her mom. So we're sort of feeling like this is the worst case scenario. And then in that space, I remember like I was getting real into Bob Marley at this time and just like the music and sort of the message. And so like he always says like Jah for God, Jehovah, Jah. And written like right in the cell when I sat down, like right in front of me was like Jah, Jah, right on the door frame. And all that meant to me was I was
Mhm.
like, "God's here." Like, even in this moment, like, I still got your back. So, I think, like, and it's funny, like, not having money, not having resources, like, these are all the things that help kinda remind us that, like, okay, like, what's really in control, and as men, I think as fathers, that's really our number 1 I'm not a father, but head of household, whatever it is, you really wanna, like, make sure that you're in that alignment first so that everything you build from there can be actually fruitful from a strong foundation. And so, yeah, like, all of this and, like, not to be disrespectful, but I know our family and I know, like, the areas you're talking about, it's like, you have to kinda develop your faith away it's almost like a young tree. There's like good nature example, like a young little oak tree. You got to like put a fence around it so it doesn't get trampled or like something happens to it. But then it matures and it gets strong enough to then be reintroduced. So all that's to say is, like, for me, similarly, I was like, I'm not really talking to the same people, whatever. I like when I stopped drinking, like, I basically lost most of my friends. Not lost them, but just like in practice, I didn't really see them, and I didn't even want that to happen, but it just happened, and all these different things started happening
Mhm.
similarly, where it was like, I live here, I live 3 miles, I live 10 minutes away from a lot of y'all, but I haven't seen any of y'all in 2 or 3 years, you know? And so but I realize now that that was sort of just like an incubation period, and then when I get reintroduced when I have been reintroduced to my friends, like, my one of my homeboys from my hometown just had a wedding, and so that was a good reintroduction or, like, the family reunions or all these different things. Um, they, kinda let me know, "Okay, no, now I know why I was sort of secluded." Like, maybe it felt kinda weird, but I was sort of developing that shield and that sword to be able to walk through these new spaces with, like, a new level of clarity, a new level of love, new level of, like, appreciation and gratitude to actually be that
Mhm.
Quentin. Like, if I never lost that, I would have always been that. Um, and so just sort of that's how I've been taking it because it's like and then I'm realized too, like, my mom will come around more or at least, like, the phone calls would be easier and, similarly, like, past relationships or, like, old friends where I see them again, it's just like a coming from a whole different angle, and I'm like, "Damn," I'm realizing that, like, maybe, like, I didn't even realize I was tense before in these certain situations where my shoulders are raised, and now I'm coming to where my shoulders down and I'm relaxed, my chest is broad, and I have, like, a whole different point of view, and, you know, it's funny we're cousins, we never really had that point of view, but I do interesting thinking about, like, your mindset, my mindset, just when we did meet, it would be like, we're able to revisit our relationship in this manner where it's like, we have a new level of maturity and now we want to talk to each other more and more frequently. It's not something that we're just supposed to do because we're cousins. It's something that we want to
Right.
do because now we actually like are resonating on that level. You know what I'm saying? And
Mhm.
I think that's like, just selfishly, that's one of the things that I find so beautiful about like who you are is that, you know, we're able to strengthen our relationship while you're still being a father, taking care of Kai. You got your house, you got Bree, you got all this stuff that you're doing, and you're still making time for me. So I really appreciate that about you. And I do have to go probably in like a minute. So I just kind of like cracked open the door. She was like, "Hey, don't forget."
Like, "You done yet? You done
Yeah.
yet?" Alright, quit.
Yeah, man.
No, I
So
appreciate it for sure, and right back at you, I love our conversations, I wish that, Kai could get in on this because I feel like he needs it a little bit, but
yeah, well,
he be
let's
moving
try to get
around, he
home.
do a lot.
He's busy.
Yeah. I mean, it gets up to him, I'm speaking for him right now, but he be moving around, he doing a lot.
Mm.
Maybe when he gets settled in Texas,
If he's got a
How far
phone,
is that from you?
nigga, Texas is a million miles. I'm like, it depends on where he's at
Uh,
in Texas.
uh,
Yeah, that's the thing.
Dallas.
He's in Dallas. I mean, it's like, yeah, it's like it's a flight away, but on the car is probably like 15 hours. It ain't no joke.
Ah,
Yeah.
okay. Alright, I thought it was
So,
closer.
but Madama did one, and she just did it off her phone. So if he has a phone, then I could do it
We
that way.
should
But
do one with all of us.
yeah, yeah. I'm like, but see, here's the other thing.
That'd
If
be nice.
no, it'd be nice to have us all there. It would just have to be short. Cause if it's I realize it's, like, quadruple the video and audio, so it had to be, like, 45
Mm,
minutes, like, an hour, or I'd have to, like, release it in 2 or 3 episodes, so but, hey, look, hey, I'm
alright.
not fighting it, bro, let's do it. I'm trying to
That'd be
bro
cool, like a Cousins episode.
yeah, let's do it.
That'd be cool.
Alright, good. Alright,
Alright,
I'll
man, Imma let you go.
yeah, man, thank you for putting that out there. Let's make that happen, and I love to talk to you again too.
Yeah,
Alright,
yeah, let's do it soon.
alright, cool. Peace, man.